Thieves are on the path to attaining that, somebody's got to stop them before it gets out of control.
All right, guys, let's talk about this map number 1 between Atlanta FaZe and LA Thieves. And I have to tell you, I think this map was. I mean, LA Thieves is clearly the best hardpoint team in the game right now, but we've only seen them play. I mean, we have seen them actually play 4 hardpoint maps by now, but very clear they're the best team. And it's not only because of the pace that they play at, how fast they play at, the skill level of the players that they play at, but not only are they playing at a speed, but they're also playing with a lot of teamwork, a lot of coordination. They really enable a Hydra. They always block spawns and allow Hydra to go roam and go kill and go keep pressure off the hill, so they barely ever have to face pressure. And Atlanta FaZe, I feel you're going to see when I upload map number 4, Rewind, the difference in teamwork of Atlanta FaZe when their backs were against the wall, which could be good signs to come in the future in terms of everybody saying, oh, they don't know how to deal with adversity. I think that conversation is kind of over now. It's been years now. We can't keep saying that all the time because they're pro players now. Like, they've been in the league for a long time. Like, how much different times do you have to face adversity to get used to it? You know, it's either you're used to it or you'll just never be used to it. And they're champions, so they should get used to it. But this map was highlighted by a lot of bad individual play out of FaZe and a P4 spawn flip that I think cost them the game, or at least took the wind out their sails. Because with the pace that LA Thieves plays at, when you're down by a lot, you almost kind of lose confidence, even if you're not going to say in comms. Deep inside, you're like, man, this team's just thunderclapping us, and like, we're probably not going to get back in the game. So I'm going to point out an example of an individual play. This could be overanalyzation, but I mean, a team that's been playing together for years, granted they play with Draza for a year, but the rest of them been playing together for a long time. But this was Draza, Simp, and Cell. This is an example of coordination and individual play that cost them what probably would have actually changed the game, maybe, because it was very early on. So we're going to highlight Draza, MC, and Simp. So Simp and MC die. They're going to come off spawn. So I'm going to highlight this in a sec. So Draza gets this kill. And here's where I feel they could have coordinated better. At this point in time, they basically have a 3v2 pinch. They obviously don't know there's 2 guys, but they just got one. So it's either going to be 1 or it's going to be 2 because there's a guy on the hill. So they're aware there's going to be more people around this area. So even if it is just 1 or even if it is just 2, I feel like they could have played this a little bit better. So I'm thinking Simp, as he goes in this direction, like in the comms, hey, I'm pinching this side. Draza, can you look from that side so we can pinch whoever is in between us if they kill you from your side? Granted, he's at a bad angle if he comes from underground. Simp doesn't have an angle on that yet, but I feel like he should be staring this way as Simp's going this way, you know? So you have 2 different angles, probably guaranteed trays. Simp's off spawn. He has stuns and nades if Draza does die. And if they get these 2 guys off, not only do they have P4, but they have the initial P3 hill, which immediately gets back in the game because after 10 seconds they'll probably have it. And all of LA Thieves is going to spawn around old because they just came from useless. They're blocking the back. There's a guy here and there's a guy there. LA Thieves is not going to spawn back here. So if they coordinate these kills better, because it was very individual. So Simp goes in by himself. I'll play it in half speed. So Simp goes in by himself. So he goes in when Draza's not looking. And I kind of feel like Draza doesn't even have to knee slide this way when Abizi's over here. Could just look this way. Maybe he thinks they're also going to come from here. But I think this was a lack of coordination, honestly. Because he's staring over there where Abizi is. So that kind of makes no sense. So then Simp pushes this by himself. And MC, I feel like MC was being very useless here. He was looking this way originally, but he looked away to look to get spawn kills on people that if he got the kill over here, we're going to spawn over here anyway, and that's already a far spawn anyway. So he's just going for kills off hill, which he doesn't have to go for right now. He could just assist Simp as he is going up the street, just watching over him. And if he's looking, he probably kills Scrap. Probably doesn't kill Ghosty, but even just walking up the street, if they have multiple people looking at it, they could have a 3v2 on this street. And if they kill all 4 people, then they all spawn over here. But instead, I was about to say 100 Thieves. LA Thieves gets the kills and they get the trade. And this is what leads into the next point where, so now I guess I'll keep playing at half speed. So LA Thieves basically preyed on Atlanta FaZe's. They preyed on them to be dumb, and then they capitalized it in mid, and they flipped the spawns. So they're basically waiting for them, because what they want is P4 spawns. But as you can see, P3's popped. They're holding a setup back here. They're pretty chill. I don't know why Scrap thinks he's going to spawn in useless. I mean, like, they're already on that side. And when I was watching this live, I thought Hydra was so smart. Hydra already knew someone was going to push up arches, caught poor BZ off. And you're going to even see on the next rotation, Hydra actually does push this, and he drops down and he gets a 2-piece. But, I mean, the fact that they just preyed on this, and they already had spawns. So he gets that kill. And then the second MC dies up there. I mean, granted, Simp gets this kill, but they should be securing the spawns, but I think they would have gotten flipped out anyway, just because number 6 is pushed up. But I'm thinking, at least if they flipped out, play your life, because now every kill that you get is now going to make 100 Thieves, LA Thieves, I'm sorry, I keep saying 100 Thieves for some reason, is going to make LA Thieves spawn back here. So you need to stay alive. If you guys die, since your 2 teammates just died and they're going to spawn out, you need to stay alive. You need to stay alive and keep the P4 spawns. So instead, MC gets blasted out the window and Chris dies, and they lose the spawns right away. And now all of them are spawned out, and they never get the P4 back, and LA Thieves gets all this time. So I didn't really like that, to be like, I didn't mind the first one. Whatever, he's going for a trade, has confidence in his ability, that's great. But oh wait, that's MC. I mean, that's Draza. I really thought it was MC. I don't think Draza should be chilling. I think right now they need to be securing. Like, he's thinking they're going to push, which is great. He's trying to catch one off guard, but I think they got to play it a little bit safer, to be honest, because they just lost that right away. That could be me overthinking it, but 2 of your guys just went down. Granted, they just know the speed that LA Thieves plays at, too. Like, that's another thing. They know the speed this team plays at. So he already knew if he, like, backed up, I mean, they were going to run up the street regardless. But right after Simp got that kill, he probably should have backed up, to be honest. So if I just play this back, I'm going to play this in a bit faster motion. So LA Thieves gets the spawns, and then Atlanta FaZe never gets them back. Never gets them back. We see so many times, and it's another thing I actually want to point out with Atlanta FaZe. And their hardpoint in general, I'll probably point it out on future maps as well. They have a knack, for some reason, for always having to get people off scrap time. I know it's a thing in hardpoint with pro players to always get people off scrap time, but sometimes the way they do it, custom rotations and everything, with always having to get people off spawn, never, like, you'll never ever see. I mean, I saw it on Rewind, maybe. I think I saw it on Rewind Hardpoint, not the one they played against LA Thieves today, but a different one where they actually snuck by people. So LA Thieves has the spawns, but they're not blocking the back. And notice how they immediately recognize it. So Hydra dies, and then you're gonna notice Hydra spawns out, and then they immediately know that now there's a guy back there. When I see Envoy, he's looking. He's like, shit, there's a guy back here. Draza playing his life perfectly. If he stayed where he was, probably would end up getting the kill. Then he got horrible timing on this door. They got him out. And next thing you know, they're just trapped. And they're never touching P4. I don't think they touch P4 at all, ever. On this whole entire map. I don't think they ever touched it. I think they're just constantly, like, they literally didn't even breathe in the hill on P4. I think Draza got the closest by getting inside the house, but they never touched P4 at all. And now it's going into the P1, which I thought LA Thieves played extremely well, and we're going to break this down as it goes through. So Hydra's just off doing side quests because, like, it honestly doesn't even matter with, like, the way this game is going, and like they already have control of the hill, and if spawns flip for this one, doesn't even matter, but he's gonna spawn it old anyway. So immediately Atlanta FaZe actually has control of this, and so this is where I want to start pointing out. So in slow motion, I'm gonna play this in slow motion. So Ghosty and Hydra holding this like staircase side is super important, especially when it comes to P1. Like this side is so important because not only does this side have access to like the hill, but it's just a nice place to control, because otherwise they have to come through the main doorways unless a person takes a route around that way, which rarely happens. Sometimes does happen, but this staircase is the big thing to control. And take a look at how Hydra and Ghosty take control of this. They both push out their respective sides, so he's underground, but he's up top. Immediately, Hydra flies out and gets that kill on MC. Now they know no one's there. Now they have control of this. And I love how immediately after they get this guy over here, Hydra immediately goes for a spawn kill, knows exactly where they're spawning. He's the best player in the world at it. You know, just knowing timings, knowing where people are going to come from. And LA Thieves had a perfect collapse on this hill. They got this guy out of here. They got stair control. And these are things you could do when you have stair control. And he knows there's going to be another guy pushing for it off spawn. So he immediately meets him there. And as he's doing that, Ghosty's flying on the hill. The guy off spawn, getting the last guy. Abizi reading the pressure of, oh my God, we're about to get collapsed on. I have to go out and make a play, which was actually like the smart move to make on his part. Just didn't pan out. LA Thieves just had a perfect collapse on this. So all three of them all get kills here. And then immediately after, Hydra going for another spawn kill right away. Just so much pressure. You just get hit in the face so fast, you almost don't know what to do. And this was a big hold from LA Thieves. They end up getting about like 35 seconds of time, which is big time for P1. P1s are usually like the middle hill, very mixy. Most of the time it's contested. So 35 seconds or even 30 seconds is big time. And immediately after it gets that kill, going for another pinch on the stairs. I mean, just always keeping staircase control. Very good out of him. Draza making plays on the pool side. I was honestly convinced Draza maybe should have just kept going for a flip after. I mean, like he kind of did, but he kind of went backwards from here. He probably should have kept going. Maybe kind of went for a spawn kill. But the way they're able to hold this, because like even after Scrap dies right here, Ghosty immediately is like, okay, I'm going to push out. I'm going to get a trade basically in lives to relieve the pressure like a little bit, as opposed to just turtling on the hill. Oh fuck, my teammate died, I'm just gonna like stay here, hope for the best. He's like, no, I'm going to push out. I have a teammate on the hill, gonna relieve pressure because the guy on our side just died. So now if I get a kill on their side, I'll relieve pressure on the hill. So he gets this one, and then they know to look up to the stairs because they have nobody watching it yet. And this was just great out of them. Just so much teamwork, so much coordination going on. Hydra gets this kill. Immediately MC's turning. He's like, oh, fuck, Hydra's alive, shit. But then MC ends up going around him. They get horrible timing, but it doesn't even matter. MC gets this kill, immediately goes for P2 spawns, but it actually doesn't end up working out. But just look at all the time that LA Thieves got off of this hill. It's so good to see. Even Hydra drops down. He gets 2. We'll see you soon. And then as all this is going around, MC is trying to secure spawns. I don't think securing spawns by just going on the next hill is good. Like, he could have went in the back head glitch or something. Like, maybe something a little bit better than that. But, yeah, it just felt like Atlanta FaZe from the very get-go. Not from the very get-go, even up until that P4, which really put them on the back foot. It felt like they were playing catch-up the whole game after that lead happened, which is why it's very important to not make mistakes against the top players in the world, because they will punish you for it. These are things you maybe could get away with if you're playing LAG, no offense, but playing against the best respawn team in the game, probably going to pay for it. And when I say respawn, I mean Hardpoint. They're probably not the best control team, to be honest, but yeah, they're just going to punish you for mistakes. FaZe felt like they were playing catch up, and playing catch up so much, it felt like they didn't even have time to like catch their breath, regain, because they just had people constantly flying at them. You got Ghosty with the spawn traps right here. Look, immediately they're already going, like, and this is a perfect example also. I guess I could talk about this after. So they immediately had like the back spawns, which was fine, but then they also show you how you could also hold the hill from the front as well. It's nice to have the back at the beginning, but as the hill goes on and time goes down, like this is the type of setup that you want, especially going out with like 10 seconds left. So I thought that was very good. And when people talk about putting pressure on the map, it's small things like this where they mean, because they have the spawns for P4, they have it down, they have a guy on the hill, they have the guy kind of watching the push from the front on the hill, and this is pressure. Like, this is pressure right here, because Ghosty pushing up right here and popping this too, this is pressure. Like, this is not allowing the other team to breathe, this is suffocating the other team. Immediately he pops that too. Hydra runs back just in case, because not only is he an aggressive player, but he's a smart player. He still knows spawns and everything. He runs back just to make sure that they don't spawn behind. And then obviously he doesn't know what they spawn, but the guy spawns on him, spawns them out to useless. And I just thought that was just like a small thing. It was like a random two-piece, like they don't get on the hill, but that's great. And now we're going to see Hydra doing the exact same thing that Abizi did on the last P3, except the difference is, so LA Thieves was in the exact same position last time, but this is the complete difference of a organized, well-oiled machine and a team that still has a lot of work to do. So LA Thieves had a guy on the hill. They had Scrappy back there because he thought a guy was going to spawn back there. But then they had Hydra right there watching stairs, and then they had a guy right there watching that. They were literally waiting for Atlanta FaZe to make a move on them so they could get two, because once you get the kills in mid and you push up a bit, like, you're flipping unless they have a guy deep in the back, which is probably not gonna happen if P3's popped. I mean, unless someone's just really smart and doesn't care if you're soaking time, but they know the fact that they have a lead. They know Atlanta FaZe is probably a team that, not probably, they know Atlanta FaZe is a team that likes to always, Atlanta FaZe doesn't like anyone having any hill time. Even when there's 3 seconds left, like, they will fight you for it, which is a very bad thing that can cost you in the future. It's actually already costed them multiple times, to be honest, because they're always trying to go for people on scrap. I'm like, bro, leave that time alone. Like you saw with MC over there when we're talking about the other P3, when he's staring over there, I'm like, don't even gotta look that way. But look, no one's watching Hydra, so Hydra was watching this the last time. He falls down, he pops two, and I mean, and then immediately now, like, they hop off the hill, and now LA Thieves is on it, and now it's just super fucking mixy. But I think LA Thieves actually loses this spawn, but I'm going to show you how Atlanta FaZe trolls this once again. So Atlanta FaZe gets the spawns back. LA Thieves probably getting a little bit too confident there, you know, whatever, but immediately MC dies. I mean, I don't blame him for that. Draza gets the kill, and 3 spawns on him, so now they got 2 guys here. And this is where I feel like, I was wondering, like, fucking Abizi, like, he was just running. I guess he doesn't see Hydra. Kind of looked like a bot there, I'm not gonna lie. But just how important it is, like, to have mid. So Odraza dies there. I mean, he dies when Sim's already pushed up here, but there's like 12 seconds left. You kind of need this time at this point. If they get to 210, like, you kind of need P4 more, because you can't let them have P4, because if they have P4, it's over. It's 202 to 77. So I just didn't like how Draza died so easily in the window. Probably could have backed up there and just like watched the mid, to be honest. If they push up the street, whatever, but he could immediately just like turned and like watched this way. I wasn't also sure if he flew out the window or not. I wasn't sure if he flew out the window, if he just died in the window, because we just saw him in the window and now he's like gone. So I think he just died in the window. But then they immediately get flipped right away. And Atlanta FaZe went this whole entire game without touching P4 at all. They went the whole game with a hill they never even touched. Didn't step a single foot on the hill. Uncontested P4, which is unacceptable, especially on a map like this when P4 is so fucking important. It's the most important hill in the game. It's the hill. It's the only hill in the game where you basically guarantee all 60 seconds if you're actually set up for it. And they didn't touch it one time, and the game was basically over at this point. I love this. I love the setup at LA Thieves. How they just had 3 guys on cross. Just let them cross on that side. Like, doesn't even matter. We got 3 guys on the cross. Like, they're fucked no matter what. We got a guy in the other building. I mean, it's just over from here, and they just shoot them all while they're crossing, and it's over from here. And yeah, that's all she wrote. And they always got the guy pushed up, just keeping the pressure off. Whoever's in the hill is just kicking his feet up, soaking back, and they win that map. And it's almost laughable, as you can see him laughing. But yeah, a lot of teams, I mean, if I were the other teams, I would literally take all these maps that LA Thieves are playing and watch them back and replicate it. You guys are all pro players, playing at the same level, playing the same game every single day. Literally do what they're doing. You know, literally do what they're doing. Take notes from how they're playing. The coordination, the teamwork, and the speed that they're playing. Like, the way they complement every single player on that team is actually beautiful. But yeah, that is map 1 Vault.